Hello and welcome to Check It Out at EVPL, a podcast from your local library. I'm your host, Ryan, and on today's episode of Footnotes, we are joined by the always amazing, fabulously fantastic, one and only Mrs. Erika 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗱𝗱. How are you today?
I'm good, Ryan. Thank you for that kind introduction.
Well, thank you for being here. So I thought we would go ahead and start off with just getting a little bit about you. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, I am going into my 13th year at EVPL.
Impressive.
I know. It's gone fast and slow at the same time. But I've worn many hats here at EVPL. I'm currently the programming manager, so I oversee all of the programs and big initiatives that we have.
That's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
EVPL likes their programming for sure.
We do, and we have so many wonderful programmers, too, that I get to work with.
On a personal note, I've seen a quote, I believe it was from you, describing you as a cardigan-loving Hufflepuff that enjoys the Cubs, reading, and walks with her husband. Is that still pretty accurate?
That is pretty accurate.
You're still House Hufflepuff?
I am very much in the middle of Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, and I pull from whichever one I need to
Okay.
At any certain time, but I do love, like, the coziness of the Hufflepuffs, and they're just like a big hug.
You're enjoying life. You're enjoying your friends and people.
But then I also am really kind of like a know-it-all. Like, yeah. So that's my Ravenclaw coming out.
Okay. What'd you think of this past season for the Cubbies?
Oh, I was devastated.
Yeah, it wasn't. Wasn't hot.
When Rizzo and Bryant and Baez left, I was just like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Is the 2016 high still enough to get you?
I watch that multiple times a year, and I don't know. I think I've cried every time.
All right.
It's pretty sad. My husband is a big Astros fan, which there's like all kinds of drama with him. But that means I get to watch postseason baseball still, even when the Cubs lose.
That's good. That's good. You said that you've been here for 13 years. You gave a little bit of a history. Is programming director, you've been in that position for how long now?
Well, just for programming since July. Before that, for a couple of years, I was programming and outreach manager. So I encompassed all of our outreach efforts as well. And as you know now, because you're in outreach, it is now its own separate department.
Yes. I mean, we miss you.
Oh.
I would have loved to share an office with you. You're an amazing person and fun.
Well, thank you. You probably would have gotten tired of Katie and I singing all the time.
She sings quite a bit on her own. So, yeah, if there's more of that, then I'm probably glad you're gone. Okay, so since you're over programming, you definitely manage the summer reading program, right?
Yes.
And that's been going on for...
Before my time.
years and years.
It was here when I was a child. I remember going to {𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗱} as a little kid and looking for my name during the summer on the wall. So at least 40 years.
You don't have to specify it.
It's
okay.
all right.
We can edit that out.
It's all right. I'm owning my 40 years.
Good. Yeah, that's pretty much the common thread that people talk about is that they've always known of the summer reading program and always look forward to it. And this year, I believe we have a new take on it, don't we?
We do. So over the past few years, well, since I became programming manager and programming outreach manager, I've been working towards the goal of having an annual reading program for multiple reasons. The pandemic kind of actually sped that up a little bit because when we were closed, we started doing more reading challenges throughout the year. So it kind of made sense this year. Well, let's just put it all together into one big annual reading program.
Okay. So what's the general overall purpose of a summer reading program or an annual reading program?
For the annual reading program, that is, from my opinion, that is enjoyment of reading and encouraging people to read throughout the year and giving them that extra push to read by having a chance to win some prizes every month. It does help students and children if they're reading throughout the year. That's the big reason why we have the summer reading program was, it started to combat summer slide.
Yeah.
Kids were out of school, so the libraries were working to get them to read. And it kind of started growing from there where then the adults were reading. And now we're just doing it year round. See how many books Vanderbilt County can read this year.
Good. I was always competitive with my siblings.
Yes.
About how many books we could read. And you're like, no, that book's too thin or not enough pages or something. But they all count.
Yes, and there's always discussion. Do you count the number of books, the number of pages, the number of hours? Many different ways you could do it.
Okay. And when did this annual reading program start?
It started at the beginning of the year, so January 2nd, since we were closed on the 1st. And so it's been going on for almost a month now.
Okay, so we're up and running. How is someone able to get involved with this?
There are a couple of ways. The big one is obviously visit any of our library locations. All 8 locations have the monthly reading trackers already printed out, and you can pick up one. Once you're finished with one, you can pick up another one. You don't have to be limited to just one tracker. Mm-hmm. We also put it online, so you could go to EVPL.org and print one off if you can't make it into the library at that moment.
Fantastic. So no limits on your reading, just get crazy with it.
Pretty much, yeah. And just make sure that you get your monthly tracker in by the end of the month so that you'll be qualified for one of our fantastic monthly prizes.
Do you have an example or a spoiler on what we could possibly win?
So I actually just went through all the prizes and sent them to the locations, and I have to tell you, I was pretty envious. For the littles, we have some really cool crayon sets that are really big, and some games for them. For the teens and adults, we have gardening kits and water bottles, A-Zip pizza, gift cards.
Excellent.
So, yes, it's a wide variety of cool stuff.
There's definitely something for everybody.
Yes.
Is there more to do than just reading with programming?
Oh, yes. Programming encompasses a lot of stuff. So while this is for the reading part of it, we have programs, multiple programs every day. And it all ties back to the library and what we have to offer to our community. Obviously, we try to put books in it in any way that we can. But we also focus a lot on STEAM for kids. That's very important. And for teens and adults, we have different types of gaming programs for teens, crafts, gardening, cooking, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me getting older or if we're just expanding the programming, but it definitely seems like every time I look, there's more, not like just early literacy programming going on.
Yes, and we just actually, in the maybe past 6 months, have hired teen and adult librarians at all of our locations. So I think once we start coming more out of the pandemic era.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, you're going to even see more teen and adult programs across the system. So it's going to, obviously children's program has always been our biggest numbers, but I think we're going to start balancing a little bit more.
That's exciting. I'm no longer a child, so they don't really let me in on the children's programming unless I'm doing it. They're just kind of like, why are you just sitting there?
So
I like story times.
They are fun. You get to dance and sing and act silly.
No one judges me on my dancing skills.
No. My favorite is that if you do ever get to go to story time or see them, like we have story times outside, seeing the little kids do the Cupid shuffle.
I haven't gotten to witness it yet.
It is the funniest thing I've ever experienced.
I'll have to sneak over Oakland's dance party and check it out
outside. Yeah.
Do you have any spoilers for us for 2022? What's next?
Well, we're still waiting and seeing what's going to happen with the pandemic. We have all kinds of wonderful ideas that are percolating. It's just whenever we roll them out. I will say our biggest initiative that we're going to roll out by the end of the year are new baby kits. We're working with the Women's Hospital and Deaconess and hopefully Ascension St. Vincent to get baby kits to every baby that's born in the hospital to start them early on their reading adventure.
Really wanted to make sure no one falls through the cracks.
Correct.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just happy to be here. I can come back anytime and talk about programs.
You were very educated on the matter, and it's awesome.
Kind of see the program calendar in my dreams.
Well, thank you for enlightening me regarding this. So anywhere someone could get more information about EVPL's programming.
Definitely evpl.org is a great place to start if you're in any of our library locations or if you visit us at EVPL. To you, in our outreach efforts, we will have program calendars out there.
I go to those. That's my job.
Yeah, so you'll get to see Ryan, and he'll hand you one of the calendars, and maybe he'll dance for you.
Thank you for that. I'm excited now that people are going to randomly ask me to dance. It's going to be fun. All right.
Make sure you record it for us.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Erika.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening. If you have questions or comments regarding today's episode or would like to suggest topics for future episodes, you can email us at podcast@evpl.org. I'm Ryan, and this has been Footnotes with Check It Out at EVPL.